That night in Portland, the rain was relentless, drumming against the windows as Emily Carter sat alone, on her phone. She scrolled through memories, her smile, his smile, their shared laughter frozen in pixels to the outside world. Emily and Ryan were the perfect couple, both in their late 20s, successful with a beautiful apartment and a future that seemed written in the stars. But love, once a warm and gentle flame, had started to flicker and burn in a way that felt wrong. Ryan was charming, almost effortlessly so. Emily used to find it endearing when other women flirted with him at parties or work events. She'd laugh it off, secure in their bond. But lately things had shifted. His phone had become an extension of his hand, always guarded. And last week, small but seismic change occurred. He stopped saying, "I love you" first. A quiet unease began to creep into her heart, a feeling she tried desperately to ignore. But on the night of November 4th, denial was no longer an option. Ryan was in the shower, and his phone left carelessly on the counter buzzed. A name flashed across the screen, a name that made Emily's world tilt on its axis. Lena, her best friend. With trembling hands, she unlocked it. The message was a dagger. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you." For a paralyzing moment, everything inside her stopped her breath, her heartbeat, time itself. Then, an inferno of rage and betrayal erupted. The second he stepped out of the bathroom, a towel around his waist. Confusion clouding his features, she confronted him. "You slept with her?" she asked, her voice dangerously calm. Ryan's face drained of color. He stammered, scrambling for words. It was a mistake, I swear." But his excuses were just noise. Her mind was a chaotic storm of screaming, breaking, and drowning. Instead of begging for forgiveness, he told her he needed space. He said they should take a break. Then he walked out the door, leaving her in the ruins of their life together. Emily didn't sleep that night. She just sat by the window watching the city, lights blur through her tears until the sun rose. She told herself she would forgive him. She had to, but forgiveness felt like a foreign country she couldn't find on any map. 2 nights later, her calls to Ryan went unanswered, each ring echoing in the hollow space in her chest. Consumed by a mix of desperation and fury, she got in her car and drove. It was 2 a.m., the rain pounding the windshield just as it had that first night, mirroring the tempest inside her. Flashes of their happiest moments, laughter, kisses, whispered promises, collided with the raw pain of betrayal. When she arrived at his apartment, she found the front door slightly ajar. A sliver of light escaped from inside. She pushed it open. The TV was on, flickering silently, casting dancing shadows on the walls. And there was Ryan, asleep on the couch, his phone still clutched in his hand. Glowing on the screen was a single name, Lena. In that instant, something inside Emily shattered for the last time. It wasn't a slow crack. It was a violent, complete implosion. Her movements felt detached, as if she were watching someone else. She saw her hand reach for the small kitchen knife on the counter. She didn't even remember making the decision to pick it up. She stood over him, rainwater from her soaked hair mixing with the tears streaming down her face. "You said you loved me," she whispered to the sleeping man who had broken every promise. Then a single, swift motion. Silence descended, heavy and absolute. The knife clattered to the floor, and her entire world collapsed. At 7:45 a.m., a neighbor, alarmed by screams they'd heard earlier, called 911. When the officers arrived, they found Emily sitting on the floor, her clothes stained with blood, her eyes vacant, staring at Ryan's lifeless body. When they asked what had happened, her voice was a soft, hollow whisper. "He promised he'd never leave me." She offered no resistance, showed no panic. There was only a profound, soul-crushing emptiness. The case became a media sensation, a digital wildfire. Headlines screamed, "The love that killed TikTok couple turned tragedy." The Portland obsession. The internet became a jury, dissecting every old photo, every loving caption, every shared smile. To some, she was a cold-blooded monster. To others, a tragic victim of profound emotional abuse, pushed past her breaking point. In the courtroom, her defense attorney argued, it was a moment of temporary insanity, that rare, terrifying instance when heartbreak metastasizes into madness. Emily remained a ghost throughout the trial. She never made eye contact with the jury. Her lips moved silently, whispering his name over and over again. The verdict came. She was sentenced to 25 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 15. When the judge asked if she had any regrets, her answer was chilling. Every second of every day. But in that moment, it didn't feel like me. It felt like love refusing to die. 5 years passed. A journalist producing a documentary on crimes of passion visited Emily in prison. The woman who sat across the table was a shadow of the girl from the photos. Her hair was cut short, her eyes distant, holding a sorrow that seemed infinite. The journalist asked what she would say if she could send a message to the world. To other girls who might find themselves in the dizzying highs and devastating lows of a similar love, Emily looked up, her gaze finally focusing. I'd tell them, love isn't supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to break you or make you feel worthless. The moment it does, it's not love anymore. It's something else. And you have to walk away. Walk away before it kills you, or before it makes you kill someone you love. As the interview ended, and the journalists left the sterile prison walls, a light rain began to fall outside, steady and quiet. A stark contrast to the violent storm that had started it all. Sometimes, love doesn't just die. It destroys everything in its path. Thanks for watching. If you or someone you know is in an unsafe relationship, please reach out for help. There are resources available, and you are not alone.